She broke his heart with a baseball bat. A man with a tendency to overreact, out of control. Oh, and so it goes. The kid with the promise, with the friends with the tats, hopped in a car, now past the scalpel stat, 6 feet below. Oh, and so it goes. I said I'd be there to having to hold. Oh, the world is burning and I want you to know. Oh, my word is gold, my word is gold. Oh, and so it goes, and so it goes. The finger on the button with the pen in his hand. Scary loyal people from the promised land, heads will roll. Oh, and so it goes. The water turns, but there's supply and demand. The sun it burns, the fields they turn to sand. The wind blows, and so it goes.
One win for the Elks. One win. And the internet crashes here at the EST studios. Heaven forbid this team ever goes on a Grey Cup run. The building might burn down. But I will say this. Thank God Gager's here.
Oh, the calming voice of a former cable guy, I think, helps
Yes.
there. Yeah, it's
We lost everything.
yeah, we did.
There was a point, Trev's hardwired, just so you guys a little behind the curtain here. Trev's hardwired. So even if the Wi-Fi signal's not great, maybe there's some interference on our computers, but Trev is the ultimate gatekeeper here. And that was downright terrifying. I think the first words out of Trev's mouth was, "Of course this happens today."
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what, Trev? It's okay. Gager
He
is
went from hardwired
Yeah.
to wired hard. That's what he did. But
Gager's a certified technician. He could vouch for the issues that we were having. That light was not white.
no, and I was it's watching those sequence of lights just take time off your life watching those things. But I thought it might have been Dusty just shutting us completely down. But nope, that was good.
That was okay.
We're back. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. This is great.
Sorry for bringing it back with Whale and the Wolf. I know you had listened to Whale and the Wolf during the whole time we were out, but we thought "So It Goes" would be the perfect song to bring this back to YouTube. Trev, it's all good in the hood, man. We're all right. We're okay. Now the only thing is we Keegan Matheson had other things that he was a part of today, so we are going to have to skip that as well. It happened right during that. We didn't know if we could make it happen or not, so we're going to have to miss our talk with Keegan Matheson, who is the Blue Jays reporter for MLB.com, but we will catch up with him another time. Big G in the Paris Jewelers inbox says there's nothing on YouTube. We're at the part 2. We're on YouTube. We're at Trey Ford in equals Elks win part 2.
Part deux.
Part 2.
They'd say in Paris.
As they say in Paris, France. Now, we are going to get to Confessions, brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to believing that they could have coached the Elks to their first win in Week 1. Rent a mini track loader with auger to remove unwanted hedges and install a permanent basketball hoop. Hey, that's all right. I want one of them augers. Those are fun to operate.
You must do a lot of that out of the farm.
Well, we rented it's called a 2-man auger at one point from Spectrum Rental.
Terrible.
And we were using it, and you literally corkscrew yourself into the earth.
Yeah.
And of course, we had this thing. We were putting in a hitching post, and we had this thing probably 4 or 5 feet deep, and we couldn't get it to get into reverse to take it out. So we ended up having to put in like a metal bar and hand screw it out of the earth. That was a great day. But
Gross.
I think it was the user error.
Yeah.
I think it was
those
user
two-man augers are, unless you know, like if you hit something, you both are getting like hip surgery. It's kidney shots, right?
It jolts you pretty good.
I remember when I did my my deck and we were doing the holes. We just got a one-man. Like it was a lot easier.
push
The
one?
push down,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
good. But I didn't realize that the people that built the house just must have poured all the cement and because there were so many big rocks in there. And the first one was great, went right down. There's some shallow holes for some of my pilings in the back, but deck's still solid.
Deck is still solid. Good for you. I have a confession. I have a confession. I don't know. I have two confessions. I don't know which one's worse. Both are really bad. I'm going to go with I'm going to tell you both. You can decide which one is worse. I split season seats for the Stingers with my good friend Damon Bunting from Remax Elite, one of the best in the business. My guy. I believe we went to 4 Stingers games. We gave some away because we couldn't be here, but we went to 4, including Sunday's game. I think I'm a mush for the Stingers. My family and I, did not see one victory.
Oh no!
There this year, and it was in my head going down there. I'm like, should I stay home because I fear like I'm the reason that they're losing. So between me being there, Surveyor Brett sending creepy videos of me in the stands from afar, I am a mush for the Edmonton Stingers. So my apologies. That one's on me. My second confession is I bet against Andre DeGrasse to make the 100-meter final with one Matthew Awanek. And I made that bet, not because I'm anti-Canadian. It's because that wasn't his focus leading up to here. I didn't think he had the gumption to do the 200 and the 100. Now, thankfully, he's in the 200-meter final. But I confess, I bet against Team Canada, so sue me. I know Matt's going to hold that over me for a long time, as long as he possibly can. But call me anti-Canadian. Call me a jackass. Call me whatever you want. That is my confession, and those confessions are brought to you by Spectrum Rental. Gager, confess something to me.
Well, I guess letting down my son a little bit is my confession.
Okay,
this
do
weekend.
tell.
Before I mentioned that I'd gone to see Deadpool, and usually my superhero partner in crime to watch it is my son. Like we watch all that stuff together.
Okay.
And he's actually got a new job. He's no longer working at Hearts. He's off with Weiss Johnson. So he's moving on up. So first week, getting up early, but wanted to go to Saskatoon to go and have some fun over the weekend. And he was going to work, then getting on the road. And I was like, it's his first long trip, So I'm like, hey, maybe I threw it out there. Let's do this. Why don't you stay home? We'll go watch Deadpool Wolverine Friday night. Your schedule, you're already getting up early. You get up in the morning. I'll help you get ready, and off you go. And you'll have the whole day instead of getting there late. He goes, no, Dad, I want to go. And I understood, right?
Yeah.
Me being the selfish person that I am, go down the list, and get my daughter to come with me to Deadpool Wolverine. And Grant, I had a great time. It was awesome. She had a great time. But the look on my son's face when I now, of course, his mother wants to take him to make up for it.
Oh, no. You stay out of Papa's lane there.
Yeah, but no, she wants to go see it. She likes Ryan Reynolds, whatever. But I kind of let down my son. This was the first time that we haven't gone seen a big Marvel movie together.
Right. Well, what if you went and rewatched it?
I could, but now maybe let me know in the inbox 780-218-9999. Should I let my wife and my wife go have their own experience at a movie together, a Marvel movie that usually it's me and him, or should I be the third wheel and steal the popcorn?
Oh, I know where my vote's lying. I say third wheel all day, baby. I say you own. You know, you're as responsible for this beautiful son and the experience you have as your wife.
I
you know?
guess. Yeah, I was there for my
The
I
tutelage.
contributed.
The tutelage. Now I do feel, you know, I get where he's coming from. You remember those first road trips you went on where you just wanted to get the hell out of town?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're on the road.
Yeah.
You're out, you know, you're with the boys.
Yeah.
It's freedom. It's freedom.
Yeah.
I remember my sister had leased a car, and it was a Pontiac Sunfire, white. And we decided to go on a road trip down to Calgary. Now, this is a lease. So the more miles you put on, the more it goes against. You know, you only have so many kilometers per se. But lo and behold, the fellas found the fuse that controlled the control panel,
Yeah,
the
nice.
speedo, and all the fancy lights that go up there. So there was no odometer running. It was digital. So, but at the same point, there was no there was no speed limit. There was no gas gauger.
Right. Yeah.
And we ran out of gas pulling on our way down. Of course, as idiots, we didn't check the gas before we
Before you
pulled the
put in,
fuse.
yeah.
So here we are. We're coming into, like, you know, the Ponoka area on Highway 2, and we're limping. And man, this power steering's like, what's going on with this? And power steering's gone, no gas. But thankfully, you take that round, the exit into Ponoka, and then it's pretty much downhill into Ponoka. So we cruised in neutral.
That's good.
Into Ponoka. Thank God for that pitch. Otherwise, that would have been a long day. And the fuse, we did not put the fuse back in. We were committed to it, but now we knew. We put the fuse in to see that we had full tank of gas.
Yeah.
Then that baby came out because, I mean, we're talking miles here.
Yeah, no, that's good.
That was a good old trick. Trev, do you have any confessions? Do you have anything you want to confess? I mean, I know you already confessed to, you know, taking the scooters out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's okay. We've all been there.
I do have a confession, and this sucks. Of course this happens. Yeah, I also saw Deadpool Wolverine over the
did ya?
weekend.
Yeah.
And Gager, I'm sorry, I didn't like it.
I'm
I'm sorry. Like I will admit there was a few good moments that I was like, okay, that's sick. But if it wasn't for those moments, maybe I have to rewatch it. I don't know. I was expecting more. I was expecting a lot more. It just didn't move the needle for me. And I feel bad because, like, I wanted this to work. And, you know, a lot of people, I'm in the minority here for sure, because everyone I've talked to has just absolutely loved it. But I don't know why. This one just, it didn't. I think I set expectations way too high.
That's what you did.
And I always do that for Marvel movies, and sometimes I'm just like, sometimes they reach them, but I got to stop setting expectations going into movies, because there's always that fear of just, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. But like I said, I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but there were some cool parts. I was like, okay, sick. You know, that was also really cool. But there were parts where I'm just like, meh, man. So I'm sorry if anyone has seen it. That's my confession.
That's tough. That's tough to hear.
sorry,
I have a confession. I've never seen one of the Marvel movies.
Oh,
Not any?
so envious.
None.
So envious.
Are you?
Yeah.
See, I'm sorry. I'm a documentary guy more than I am a movie guy. The only movies I'll commit to are, and this is a me problem. I'm confessing that I have a problem. It's not that I'm holier than thou or that I think Marvel stinks. I just can't get into, like, that sci-fi kind of stuff.
Did you read comics as a kid?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we were too poor. I just, you know, was lucky to get the scraps of a newspaper, you know, and, you know, from the neighbor's garbage bin. No, I'm just kidding. I did read comics. I read Archie.
Oh, yeah.
That was my comic. Archie, Garfield,
Betty and Veronica.
Calvin and Hobbes. You know, those were my comics. I was never into the X-Men, Superman. Just did not. I don't know. I just didn't have the time of day. Now, of course, being, you know, playing football for so long and road trips, and you'd cross
on the
over.
bus.
You'd see them. But I would, you know, probably tune out or, like, go for a nap or
Really?
something like that. Yeah, because there was the one that I would probably be most. Wasn't there one that they ended out the movie or something in Statue of Liberty? And there was the girl in blue and the big hairy guy, or the big
That was the first X-Men movie, I think.
X-Men,
Yeah.
something like that. I have scenes of that. I have glimpses of that.
Man, that's tough
Disappointing.
to hear. That's disappointing from
Is
both
it? Is
of you.
it?
Yeah,
Is it?
that's
Okay.
sad.
Does that change your opinion of me as a person?
I don't know. Like, I don't know why. Like, my stepdad, he's in the same boat. He never got on the watching Marvel with me, and I was like, "Hey, we're going to the movie." And he's like, "Nah, I don't really like them." I'm like, "What are you talking about? This is
Yeah.
awesome. This is sick."
Yeah.
Like, it gets me mad. So, but that's him. I'll let it slide with you.
Yeah, and like my, I just we don't go to movies. Like, literally, my daughters have been to one movie.
What?
Yes.
Oh wow.
It's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing
It was
better
cool.
than-
Don't
there's
get me
nothing better
wrong.
going to
It
the
was
theater.
cool. We
Cheap
went
Tuesday.
to the Lion King, the real one. Like that's the last movie we've been to.
Man.
It's just a thing. I don't know. I'd rather sit and watch. We watched that Netflix documentary Sprint
Oh yeah.
about the runners leading up to the Olympic Games. We're gonna get into receiver. It's just like the Olympics being on in our house is a godsend because we have the opportunity to now have sports on from 7 a.m. till midnight. It's a beautiful time it's a beautiful place to be. I just love the Olympics. And next Summer Olympics, if I'm not mistaken, are in LA.
Yep.
So now we're gonna really be in the right in
thick
the
of it.
sweet spot,
Yeah.
right? Where you're gonna get live instead of, for the most part, you're getting off work and you're seeing all the replays of things. You might have already seen the result on Twitter.
But aren't we a replay society now? When do you? I mean, obviously with certain here with the Oilers and Stingers and Riverhawks, it's nice to get live sports. But I think as people, like, how many people go, don't spoil it, I've got it recorded. Like, I've been at dance competitions where they're announcing Oilers scores, and there's a bunch of people in the stands, like, put their hands over their ears and they're like, la, 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 because they want to go home and watch the whole game.
Well, I will say this, and when we first came in, I said my neck was really sore today because we unloaded a container of my wife's horse blankets. My wife has a horse blanket business. It's called AJ Equine Supply. If you need any horse blankets for your horses, check out AJEquineSupply.com. My name is the J in AJ. That's a true story. But so she got a whole whack of products, 385 boxes worth of products yesterday, and we unloaded all of them hand by hand. But where I'm going with this story is that I put timers on my phone for the races where Andre DeGrasse was in the semifinal. So at 1:38 or I'd have it go off at 1:35. We'd stop what we're doing. Everybody boots inside, watches the race. And now you'd have to get right back out there because if you sit too long after you've been doing it,
You're not.
you ain't getting up. You ain't getting up. So, but that being said, if you're just joining us now, this is HR Daddy did not get rid of his son. He'd never do that. He loves him dearly. At least that's what he tells us. But Dustin's calling the Gretzky Hlinka Cup. He kind of wussed out here on us. Said his voice, he needs to protect his voice. So Dustin, I'm gonna,
He's carried by Button anyway.
yeah. You're on close watch. You're on close watch, Dusty. Lieutenant Eric is going to be back from holidays, and he will be joining Gager tomorrow morning. So you will have the regular fill-in crew as Dustin's away this whole week. So you'll have Gager and Lieutenant Eric tomorrow. Dustin will be back next week, but that guy is talking a lot.
Yeah, no.
So you need to protect that.
He's probably the busiest man in broadcasting in Canada right now.
He said it. I think he sent out a tweet like over the next 10 games, how many CFL games and hockey games he's going to call.
It's
It's
crazy.
astonishing.
Yeah.
It's astonishing. So, Trev, why don't we hit up that sports update? Get back to it. One for the people here, Trev, because, we lost for about 15 minutes, right?
We did. Yes, absolutely. So we will get to that. But first, if you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia, definitely send us a text. Send me a text. I will pick a lucky contestant. And if you want to play, we got some great questions provided by Gager, I believe, today.
Yeah, we've got some really tough questions. Not Tommy, but Tommy level, but somewhere in between Dusty and Tommy.
Absolutely. Yes. So if you want to play kind of easy trivia, we'll be hitting that at the top of the hour. Just text me right now. Say, hey, Trev, I want to play that kind of, you know the drill. But without out of the way, let's get to a sports update for Claiborne Services. Trey Ford gets his first start of the season, and to no surprise, the Elks get their first win of the season. The Elks defeated the 5-3 Saskatchewan Roughriders by the score of 42-31. Ford threw 18 of 22 passes, good enough for 252 yards. The Elks don't play again till Sunday, August 11th, where they'll be taking on the 5-3 BC Lions right here in Edmonton. Elsewhere in Edmonton, the Stingers finished off their season with the 78-69 loss on Sunday, coming from the nemesis, Calgary. This is the second year in a row that the Calgary Surge have ended the Stingers' season. The Riverhawks swept the Port Angeles Lefties over the weekend and look to continue that in their next series against the Nanaimo Night Owls. The Riverhawks won Game 1 of this series on the road with a score of 15-4. This win clinched their spot in the 2024 West Coast League playoffs for the first time in the franchise's history. If you want to cheer them on, they play again tonight, which of course you can listen at edmontonsportstalk.com. In the Olympics, Andre DeGrasse didn't qualify for the men's 100 meter, but he did qualify for the 200 meter semifinals. Andre DeGrasse did get a gold in this event at the last Olympics, and you can watch DeGrasse tomorrow where he looks for redemption. And lastly, the Canada men's basketball squad is set to play France this morning at 10 a.m. The winner of that one will advance to the semis to play either Germany or Greece. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeymen, bricklayers, and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they are an industry leader in safety. Visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call at 780-910-6728.
Closer to the hollow, the devil may care. If I showed you around my heart, would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me? I will not change it. I will wait patiently while you get painted out. Let me into your untainted tribe to be the one who gets to live a lie. Oh, let me lie with you. I'll be a perfect stranger. I wanna be that stupid boy that you don't talk about. You better believe there's a sharp knife beside my bed. You better believe there's a sharp knife inside my head. And if you would leave, I would take you by the hand. You and I would leave, but it wouldn't be that bad.
803 back at Edmonton Sports Talk. It's Joaquin Gage, Jay Milne, Glue Guy, YouTube Trev on the phone, getting someone for kind of easy trivia.
I really like your intro back in. I think we should go to break much more consistently, so we can hear that. You do it really well.
Oh, really?
Is this like it's like your WKRP in Cincinnati moment, you know? You really do it well.
Thank you.
Johnny
buddy.
Fever.
Yeah, no, I have that that MC at the ballet is what I say, where the girls dance.
Yes. When you do it, you come by it quite honestly, I must say. Trev, we have somebody ready for Mr. Mike's kind of easy trivia.
Why, yes, we do, Glue Guy.
Well, this kind of easy trivia is brought to you by Mr. Mike. Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever in the Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail, now with 6 o'clocker lager on tap. I brought in a 6 o'clocker lager yesterday from the and by the way, before I forget, I have to mention this because it is fantastic. Mr. Mike's has a summer special menu. They have these honey spiced whiskey barbecue ribs. Oh my God! The reason I like them is because they're not overwhelmingly honey. You know what I mean? They just have enough honey to make it sweet, but you don't taste like you're eating a spoonful of honey. They have prepared it perfectly. That is the Glue Guy guarantee. You want to go there, and you can actually split it. It is a healthy portion, very healthy portion. But yes, I brought in a 6 o'clocker lager after we did all that work yesterday, and I put it in a nice ice cold mug. Man, I don't know if life gets much better than that.
That sounds good.
Again,
I love that.
I mean, we talk about it a lot, but I mean, the proof's in the pudding now, or in the hops and yeast.
Yes.
I've gone into my Sobeys Safeway liquor store by my place in Terwilliger, and the stacks of 6 o'clocker lager, it always goes up, and then you go back and they're down, and they just keep refilling it. Like, it's a very, like they said, I mean, it came out in the winter, and then summer came.
Kind of a non-traditional time to launch it, but it still did good then, and now.
And it's become the official beer of the summer, I think, is what it has done. It's delicious. And I'm more blow the back of your head off IPA guy too, right? And
yeah, me too. I am too. But it is nice to sometimes give the old belly a break, because those IPAs can get you a little bloaty.
No, yeah,
little bloaty, little burpy.
Yeah. So I've actually just doing beer of the week. I've been in here a lot of Fridays lately.
Yes.
And I've tried a lot of different ones. So I'm kind of a rainbow of beers now that I'm trying to try. Step out of my comfort zone.
I'm jelly.
Yeah.
Trev, who we got for Kind of Easy Trivia presented by Mr. Mike's?
Sean's going to give it a go today.
All right. Well, Sean, are you ready to go, sir?
I am, Glue Guy.
How ready? I mean, Gager, we went through the questions earlier, and I think you need to have a plethora of knowledge to answer his questions. Just my opinion.
Well, as a veteran BevBC Falcon like yourself, I'm ready to go.
Oh, Falcon, awesome. My guy. This is great. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Trev, you got the ticker ready to go?
Yeah, I got everything.
Okay, the ticker will start after Gager reads his first question. Good luck to you, my friend.
Let's do it.
All right, Sean, here we go. Did Team Canada hit double-digit goals at the Gretzky Hlinka yesterday?
Yes.
How many gold medals did Summer McIntosh win?
A hat trick.
Did the Elks win over the weekend?
Sir did.
Was Vlad Guerrero named AL Player of the Week?
He was. En fuego.
Do you miss Dusty and Eric?
I do not. You guys are the best.
That's fire!
This gets a nipple erection.
Oh, is that dirty?
This is not just a dream, it's a wet dream of orgasmic proportions.
Oh, is that dirty?
Frustration sets in and the emotion goes out, and then you just start playing with yourself.
Oh, is that dirty?
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Sean!
What can you say? That was electric.
That was good. He nailed him. I was worried about the Guerrero one just because we missed Keegan Matheson.
Yes.
So I was going to get into that with him, but
On fuego.
yeah, that was good. I see the wrench, Tommy Gazzola. Good morning, Nasties, checking in from Coeur d'Alene. Wow. Is that really Gazzola, or is that that's Tommy? No, but with Tommy without the wrench.
That's Tommy without the wrench, but
Wow.
he does have a wrench on most days.
Yeah, I wonder if that he's going to need a new tool when he gets home. D. Bowles says, Gager, try the Far Hefe when you get the opportunity. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Hefeweizen guy.
Yeah.
I like those.
That's the one in the black can, right?
Yeah,
With the orange and looks like
the
German colors.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I haven't tried that one, but no, I'll get in there. Lots of wrenches now in the Nasty Chat. Tommy, you take care of yourself. I know you probably need a vacation from your vacation when you get home here, but yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you again, buddy.
Yeah, and the stories.
The stories
and the pictures. Tom, the pictures.
Because now he's at the is this the ranch he's at, like Gretzky's little ranch or something like that?
I don't know. It's where a bunch of famous wrenches go to hang out together.
A lot of famous wrenches.
Some sort of a wrench convention. I'm sure there's nothing exciting going on there.
Nothing.
Certainly not any golf. That can be for certain. Well, it's time to get into 3 questions too many, presented by Park Mazda, where dealer principal Mitch Lewicki is also attending the wrench convention in Coeur d'Alene. Very much so looking forward to that. Tommy, look out for Mitch. He will be there.
Have you ever met Mitch?
I have not.
Mitch is a young dude that looks like he. I met him once. This was a couple years ago, but I was shocked at the age of Mitch. And it was. You always think of a car dealership guy, old, stuffy,
Yeah.
suit, constantly goes to bed in a suit. No, he good-looking man. I was.
Well, maybe I'll stop in one day because I drive past.
Oh, do you?
Park Mazda quite a lot. Actually, I should drive in there. It's right on Y Road. Beautiful dealership. Actually, used to be another dealership before it was Park Mazda, but now it's known as Park Mazda there for sure.
My wife's favorite ar is the CX-9, like that.
Yeah.
She wants one of those.
You've said that before.
Yeah.
I think maybe with the money she made from bartending at Big Valley, she might be able to drum up a car.
She bugs me to go. She knows Mitch, like his name, Mitch. I'm getting a little worried, actually, now that I think about it, with Mitch's flowing locks. I hope he wasn't down at Big Valley. But, no, that's...
well, we appreciate Mitch. We appreciate A&W. They're going to be... the text of the day will be given away by A&W. I've got one in the bank right now, earlier from Joelle. I think she's the leader in the clubhouse at this point for her text of the day at 6:35 this morning. I'm just going to see if I can pull it up here because it was apropos, as they say, given the time, but she's probably texted in since then. Let me see if I can. There it is. Okay. Yes, this was in relation to our dear friend Anthony Ammirati with some technical difficulties of his own in the pole vault, and she said, I guess he didn't get pole position. So that is your leader in the clubhouse. Obviously, we've got the Paris Jewelers inbox. Hit us up on that, 780-218-9999. We would like to thank Popeyes, our amazing studio sponsor. Check them out today. And, of course, we couldn't do this without South Fort Chevrolet. Speaking of a young general manager, you go see Daniel and his team at Fort Sask.
Yeah.
Met him at the golf tournament. He's a beauty guy. He's got a office full of Nerf guns. I mean, what that says a lot about a man right there. Tell them EST sent you and you'll get 15% off accessories on your new ride. And you get the deal for Chevrolet 1500s and heavy duties. Visit their website at www.southfortchev.com. And do not forget to let them know that EST sent you. Gager, 3 questions too many, presented by Park Mazda. What say you?
I don't really know. I was trying to think of some really good questions here. We're going to get into it with Josh Lewenberg soon, but Canadian men's basketball, are they podium bound?
Well, I just realized now that I wrote out 3 questions.
Oh,
and I do 3 questions. Oddly enough, that was one of them.
Yeah, I knew.
Gager, we are in sync. Bingo, bango, bongo.
I think you said this already.
Well done. Yes, I totally screwed that up. Well, yes. I mean, I think the Canadian men's basketball team could become one of, obviously Summer McIntosh is the biggest story, especially for Canadian Olympics endeavors. Anyhow, I think the Canadians men's basketball team could become very much so in the same speaking if they can get past this game today, which would then set them up for a matchup against Germany. Thankfully, they drew the side of the tournament draw where they would not have to face the U.S. juggernaut until the final. So, I mean, I think, honestly, they came out of the group of death, which was phrased as in their tournament, and they came out 3-0. So, if Team Canada men's basketball can do some things, get to the final like they are projected to, or, I mean, even though they were projected to, potentially get to the final, it's still a toss-up.
Well,
and they are playing at a very, very high level right now. So I think that could be a big story moving forward.
I mean, a lot of experts talking, I think for the most part, they said that if there wasn't a podium finish, it would be looked at as a disappointment up to this point. So, and basketball is an interesting sport too. And you look at that USA team and the talent that it has, and it seems to be they're kind of gelling a little bit more and playing together. It's got to be difficult with that many superstars, that many guys that want the ball at certain points. Maybe this is, I'd love to see a Canada-US basketball final.
But think of that. Just think of that. If we, as fans of Team Canada and fans of the Olympics and the spectacle that it is, think of that. Think of if it was a Canada-USA men's basketball final. That would be must-watch, shut everything off.
Yeah.
You're tuning into that game. I'd imagine it would come at about 1 p.m. That is must-watch TV.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And maybe like in a 7-game series, that's very difficult.
Exactly.
But one game, man, that's...
Well, you said it about the Swiss team yesterday, right? I mean, you get a hot goalie that comes in and maybe shuts down. It didn't happen, but you never know in a one-game situation, which is exciting. So Canada, again, plays at 10 a.m. this morning. We are going to be interviewing Josh Lewenberg here coming up in about 20 minutes. So stay tuned for that. We're going to break down this game and really dive into it, get you set up for that 10 a.m. tip-off. But you can also watch it while you're watching the Hangout, obviously. Now, Gager, I got a question for you. Do you think the Elks, this is question 2 of 3 questions too many presented by Park Mazda. Do you think the Elks have figured it out? Or do you think this is just a one-off and they got their win, great? Or do you think something's changed here?
Yeah, I do think it's changed. You go up against the Rough Riders who have, a little bit of a surprise of where they're at this year, the strength of the team, but it's not a fluke. Like they went up against a really good defensive team, excuse me, and performed really well, but you saw it from every aspect of the game this time. They were finding ways to lose. It seemed like there was one little weak link in the chain, whether it was specialty teams, offense, defense, throughout those whole times, those walk-offs. Like those games were there for the Elks to win. And I said it earlier, watching after the game in the dressing room, there was there was excitement, but it was subdued excitement. There was still work to be done. And, Trey Ford, he's exciting. I like the fact, I mean, we've been talking within these walls for how many weeks that why aren't we seeing this guy? And I understand it. There is a learning curve, but seeing him, having him be comfortable, he's got to feel good about himself too. Like this is a guy that's gone in and out of of the games that he's started. There's a lot of wins there. There's something definitely to build on, and he does keep defenses, a little bit more honest with his scrambling ability and able to make plays. So I do think this is everything's changed so much in that organization over the past few weeks, I think. And now to get this win, not against a bottom feeder team, that's also going to just give you a little bit more confidence. And like we said, we're going into a starting quarterback less BC Lions game on the 11th.
Yeah, I think if you're the Elks, you have to be hungry for that one and come out and take that game. Don't wait for it. Take it. An interesting stat from my notes for the kickoff show. Before last week's win, in the last 29 games, Trey Ford is the only Edmonton quarterback with a win.
Yeah.
In the last 29 games. He has been 4-7. Taylor Cornelius went 0-10. Daggy went 0-1. And Macbeth went 0-7. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That is terrible. Now, on to question number 3. 3 questions too many, presented by Park Mazda. Gager, we noted it right off the top of the show, but that was over 2 hours ago. But we haven't worked together. We haven't had this beautiful moment together with YTT watching us creepily. We haven't had that. But I have a question that I would love to ask you, and I'd like to know your answer because I've just been dying to know this about you.
All right.
If you were stuck on an island with a private chef, okay? But this private chef could only cook you one meal, one dish, whatever you want, one plate, the same food for the rest of your life. What is it?
It's a burrito.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a a supreme one, but I don't know what it is, but I could eat bean burritos.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
Wow.
a bean burrito lover. If it was just one food that I would never get tired of, I think. Like, because if you were I couldn't eat chicken every day, even steak to a point, but I can eat bean burritos. If I had nothing left, if that was the only food I could eat the rest of my life, I think I could get through it.
That is, I did not see that answer coming. Now, given that it is an island and you're there with your chef, you can stink it up all you want with these bean burritos. But
it's a
now,
nice
are we
burrito,
talking refried beans?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Refried beans. I used to
lay out your perfect bean burrito, if I may.
Well, it's more of a. I'm famous for my enchiladas. My buddy, he was on the Hangout, Dave Cooper. I did his bachelor party. We went and played floor hockey, or we went to the ODR and played floor hockey in the morning, and then we went back to my other friend's place, Mo Blaeways, owner of the taco shop and First Round.
Mo used to be one of the big managers back in the bar business when I was bartending.
Yeah, so now he owns those places and Five and Dive too as well.
Cool.
He went back to his place, and it was actually I think it was game 5 or was it game 6 of 06.
Oh,
so
my
we were
gosh.
watching. It was 06. It was the game 6 here to go back to Carolina. So we're all watching, and I was in charge of food, and I made chicken enchiladas for like 40 guys.
Oh, chicken enchiladas.
So that was quite intense, labor intensive, just doing all that. But it was like chicken, beans, rice, onions.
Like the real deal.
Real deal. Made my own enchilada sauce and then baked them with cheese on top. So I remember one of my buddies was like, "What are we doing here? What do you get some meat on the grill?" I go, "No, these are way better." And they were a huge hit because no one.
Well, it's a treat. Not every day do you get an enchilada, especially not a homemade enchilada.
No, and they were big, right?
Yeah.
So then we went to after the game down White Ave. Went to the old Iron Horse. It was MKT now. If you know that place upstairs, we were all kind of.
That's where I first started. I was a busboy there.
Oh, really?
That's where I started.
Oh, no way.
When it was Iron Horse.
So the worst thing was I went downstairs for a bit, and I think I grabbed a drink, and I came back upstairs. And if you can just imagine 40 guys all eating bean burrito, like the whole, everyone was flatulent. And the whole upstairs just reeked. I
can imagine.
It was. I kind of walked upstairs. I just like, oh my god, that's putrid.
Those refried beans. Yeah, they got to get it for you.
But it's still a hit. Still a hit to this day, guys. From that stag, they're like, those were the best enchiladas I've ever had.
I can't wait to have one of your enchiladas.
You know what? I'll bring some in one day.
I think we should do that. I was mentioning that earlier when I was on the show with Eric maybe a month ago, but we should have a EST celebration of dishes, where each guy brings his go-to. You know what I mean? YTT.
How's it going? What's up?
If you were stuck on an island and you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, you going bean burrito?
I don't think I'm going bean burrito. But no offense.
Oh, none taken by Gage, I'm
This
sure.
is a guy
no.
that's never tried a donair up to a couple months ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
Close
I'm
watch.
just looking at Surveyor Bread. He said good choice on the burrito though. Lots of variations. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Something like if I said pizza, would it just be?
I'm a pizza. That's my answer.
But would it be just like one pizza, or could I
Yeah.
have like?
Well, see, here's the thing. If you have to, you go for the deluxe, and you go for the meat lovers deluxe, and you can always pick things off to make it a little bit different variation of the same pizza every time.
Yeah.
Now, you'd have to have hot sauce and ranch.
I'm thinking something I've
Obviously.
ate most in my entire life. It's probably pizza's up there and burgers. So either one of those. Something because like I don't get tired. Every day is like, oh, you want a burger? I'm always gonna be like, yes.
Yeah?
I've never said no to a burger, and I've also said I've never said no to a pizza. So process of elimination, I'd go with those two.
Pizza.
Maybe sushi.
I see that. KR in the Paris Jewelers inbox says sushi. I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't know. I like
like
Tom
sushi,
Hanks
sushi in
in
very
Castaway.
limited.
That's what I'm seeing. Him just going right after the cod there, just raw.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could. Yeah, that's why I go with the burritos. It's just I can see pizza, but then I don't know if I just couldn't do it. I'd get tired of it. I see that in the nasty chat, a lot of people are going, "Ooh, enchiladas!" Like, lots of which Calvin C. Which Edmonton restaurant has the best enchiladas? There's Luna. Luna's in there. If you've been to a place that's kind of that hole-in-the-wall Mexican, I love Mexican food, though. And
I do, too.
If you haven't tried it, and I'm not just saying it because it's my buddy, but the taco shop on Bourbon Street, I had the fish tacos there. There's tons of different types of margaritas that you can have. I met the head chef. He's in there same time as we get here making the fresh corn tortillas. There's actually a nice little salsa flight, so you can get the chips.
Get out of
And
here!
So there's a bunch of different types of salsa, and the margaritas. There's about I think there's like 12 or 15 different specialty margaritas. I had the spicy pineapple margarita. Tons of different tequilas. Check it out.
Wow, I will have to. I mean, in Sherwood Park, we're blessed with La Patrona. That is a tight spot. In fact, I think I might do that for supper tonight. just go to La Patrona. They have a Hugo taco, which is I think it's some sort of a pork meat, and it's making me froth at the mouth.
Yeah.
VR Montenegro, that's an interesting one. Pierogies.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could get a variety pack of pierogies, and you could have your sauerkraut, your cheese, your bacon and your bacon and potato. You know, you could have dessert pierogies. You know, I mean, Calvin C. back in. I mean, he's just hammering down on this. We need to ask Dusty where the best chicken tenders in Edmonton are.
Let's. Does Dusty go chicken? He probably goes chicken. That's what he eats all the time anyway. So, but
Have you been to a restaurant with Dusty? Like
if
that's it.
I haven't been to an actual restaurant ever with Dusty.
That's it. If it's a nice restaurant, it's a chicken burger.
No, but at
No veggies.
at Bunting's golf tournament last
Yes.
year, he had the keg come out, and they had steak and lobster tails.
Yes.
And Dusty was quite hesitant with the lobster,
Oh.
but he did it. I had him dip it in butter, and he was like, "Joaquin, this is actually quite good." I go, "I know it's good, Dusty."
Yeah,
You gotta-"
Dustin, it's like dipped in butter. You could dip my left sandal in there, and it would taste pretty good right now.
And even when I brought him the TSN boys some food at the last Elks game, he went with there's a donair sandwich that they have. Too,
Oh.
and he grabbed that one, but then took the tomatoes out.
He's a special little boy,
it's
Dustin.
great. It's great.
Mexico Lindo in Sherwood Park is on par with La Patrona and is generally not as busy right down the road. I know exactly where that is, Owen. Thank you for that. Send in your mom and pop food recommendations, specifically of the Mexican category, as Gager has blown everybody's hair back with his statement that he would take bean burritos as his number one in a food draft of things that you can only eat for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, who are you taking number one in the handsome fella draft? That's what I want to know.
Jeez, you're really putting me on. I
haven't heard the categories yet, so I'm assuming there'll be a heavy sporting category, which there should be, given that we are a sports station. I know who my 1-1 in sports is.
Well, is this good looking or handsome? What's?
I think it embodies more than just looks. I mean, like for instance, here's my 1-1. It's Tom Brady.
Well, yeah.
Not only is he astonishingly
pretty,
good looking,
Like,
but he's a stud on the field too.
Tom Brady now, though, not when he first entered.
Oh yeah, Tom Brady with
he looks.
See,
yeah,
it's crazy what money can do. Yeah,
pucker face Tom.
Yeah.
That's a weird look. I saw him on the Olympics. He was watching the women's gymnastics there, and he didn't seem to have as much of a pucker face as I recall him having, late in his career.
Yeah, what type of pagan rituals and baby blood is he drinking?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'd like some.
He does look good, man. He does look good.
He does look good. Joel Lavoie, that's a great one. Ryan Reynolds. And actually, Ryan Reynolds now, because of his association with the Wrexham Football Club, could enter the sporting category.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah, I guess.
Might be a Lieutenant Eric move there where he takes things from categories that aren't necessarily abundant and puts them in other categories. I like that one.
There's the one comes to mind where a guy, there's those one times when a guy comes on and you go, gosh, that guy looks good. And Sergei Fedorov being announced at an all-star game with the
beautiful hair,
smoke, and he had perfect hair, and he had those piercing kind of Slavic Russian blue eyes. Like he just million
chiseled
bucks.
cheekbones.
Oh my God. I was like, my God, are you good looking? And it was, I just probably he would make the list. But I'm trying to think of a more rugged kind of, like, handsome means not so much pretty. I think when I see Tom Brady, he's pretty, Yeah. Mike Modano, pretty.
Right.
Like, but when
That's a good point.
You look at some real ruggedness.
I don't think anyone's thrown this out there. He kind of his days of glory, I guess. It was like 2018, 2019. Every girl was talking about this guy, Jason Momoa.
Oh yeah.
From he was the man. Like everyone was like, oh, he's so manly. He's so So that's kind of a little bit more ruggedness. Chris Hemsworth as well. He's got some man.
Yeah, he's pretty too, though.
But when he has a beard, he's
a little bit more.
Oh, but
rugged.
he is pretty. He's
pretty rugged.
Oh yeah.
He's pretty handsome. He's
I'll
tell you that,
dude, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to really, I guess, get down to that as to what's the definition of handsome.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit more, broad shoulders type of. Yeah.
I think you can be handsome and not hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think handsome more is in the beauty, of the eye, not the beholder. You know what I mean? Like, handsome can mean different things. Definition is good looking, of an substantial, elected by a handsome majority. Whatever that means. Marked by graciousness or generosity. Handsome contribution. You can make handsome contributions to a charity. So there is different forms and meanings.
Leon Draisaitl's handsome.
I think so. He gives a little bit of an Esquire vibe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're dialing it in. I agree with you there.
I would say he's handsome. Yeah.
Well, you know what's handsome? Is Trevor's face reading this beautiful sport update brought to you by the fine folks over at Sit and Sleep. And right after that, we are going to get into it with Josh Lewenberg and break down this and set up this game, this pivotal game coming up at 10 a.m. But first, we have a sports update from Sit and Sleep. Funny story about Sit and Sleep. Sonny, who owns Sit and Sleep, former competition to Yvonne's Furniture, knew him from back in the business. Great guy. Awesome person. He's opening up a brand new store down there in South Common. If you are looking for a mattress, I went there firsthand and met with Sonny, and I tried this. They have this thing called Sleepologist. They have a Sleepologist on site.
Really?
It's a computer. It's a mattress that you lay down on. And when you're lying, whether it's a slide sleeper, back sleeper, They will tell you where your points of contact are and what kind of mattress they need or you need. So then they don't show you all 15, 16 mattresses in their store. They show you 3 or 4 that are designed to suit your needs. I thought that was fantastic.
Wow.
And you can you go down there and you do the Sleepology test. I believe you're entered into a draw to win your mattress as well. So check out Sit and Sleep. Sonny's one of a kind. He's one of the good guys in the business. I will say that for sure. YTT, you're up.
Place out.
Trey Ford gets his first start of the season, and to no surprise, the Elks get their first win of the season. The Elks defeated the 5-3 Saskatchewan Roughriders by the score of 42-31. Ford threw 18 of 22 passes, good enough for 252 yards. The Elks don't play again till August 11th, where they'll be taking on the 5-3 BC Lions right here in Edmonton. Elsewhere in Edmonton, the Stingers finished off their season with a 78-69 loss on Sunday, coming from the nemesis Calgary. This is the second year in a row that the Calgary Surge have ended the Stingers season. The Riverhawks swept the Port Angeles Lefties over the weekend and look to continue that in their next series against the Nanaimo Night Owls. The Riverhawks won Game 1 of this series on the road with a score of 15-4. This win clinched their spot in the 2024 West Coast League playoffs for the first time in the franchise's history. If you want to cheer them on, of course, you can listen to EdmontonSportsTalk.com. In the Olympics, Andre DeGrasse didn't qualify for the men's 100-meter, but he did qualify for the 200-meter semifinals. Andre DeGrasse did get a gold in this event at the last Olympics.
Are we?
And you can watch DeGrasse tomorrow, where he looks for redemption. And lastly, the Canada men's basketball squad is set to play France this morning at 10 a.m. The winner of that one will advance to the semis to either play Germany or Greece.
We should just keep doing this every day. Kick these assholes out.
The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months interest-free and be entered to win your purchase up to $5,000 on furniture and home decor. This weekend, you also get free local white glove service on your purchase with full setup and installation. You can find them next to Planet Fitness in South Edmonton Common.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.837 back here on the Nielson Show. I'm Joaquin Gage. He's Jay Milne, YTT, and looks like Matt Iwanek has graced the studios. So
Mr. Lane
hasn't come in yelling at us yet, so that's good.
Well, that's true. He must not have been listening earlier, or I'm sure he would have. But that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna get through this, Gager. And you know what? I know Iwanek is excited about this, as many of you are, and we're going to break it down right now with the man who can do that for us. This is from TSN Radio and TSN in Toronto. It is Josh Lewenberg. Josh, how are we doing today? How are we feeling about this matchup? Or is there jitters? Or is there excitement? Let's talk Canadian men's basketball.
All of the above, and especially just watching this game that is currently in overtime now between Serbia and Australia. It's like, well, that's why it can be exciting. It can be nerve-wracking when you reach this stage of, I mean, really any international tournament, but definitely the Olympics, right? Because there is no longer any room for error. Even earlier in the tournament, there's very little room for error. Now there's literally zero, right? It's like win or go home. It's a one-game playoff situation, which we see like all the time in March Madness and in the NFL, how crazy it can get, because it's not best out of 7 where generally the better team ends up winning and moving on in the end. Like, all it takes is for somebody like Patty Mills with Australia right now to get hot, and it doesn't matter who was favored going in or what you had done to that point in the tournament. To this point in the tournament, Canada has without question been the better team. 3-0. They're coming out of this so-called group of death. Like, I know that of the 3 group winners, their point differential is the lowest, but that's because they have faced really tough teams every single game. And I still think there's the sense that we've yet to see the best from Canada in this tournament, which I think is a good thing if you can peak at the right time. Whereas France has been pretty underwhelming, I would say, 2-1, but they needed overtime in order to beat a winless Japan team, and they're coming off of a blowout loss to Germany. So in that sense, like, Canada should be the team that comes out of it, but you never know, especially considering how hostile that environment is going to be today. That's going to be a tough crowd, a tough building to play in. And then, of course, the intimidating front court duo of Wemby and Rudy Gobert presents trouble, I think, for any team, let alone one that lacks size like Canada. So it'll be interesting, and yes, I think it'll also be exciting and stressful as well.
Well, let's double down on that a bit, on what you said there with Wemby and Rudy Gobert. I mean, we've seen them play more of a 4-1 system, more of a traditional post-like player system. I mean, much to the chagrin of Evan Fournier, as you would know as well, who kind of went off on his coach, saying that the best defense is offense and that they lack fundamentals. I think chirping a bit about the traditional style of basketball they're playing, given that they have two of the most talented big men in the world on their roster. But given that they play that 4-1 system so much, what can Canada do to take advantage of this, given that they are undersized against these two and this odd, what I would consider an odd offensive setup?
Yeah, I mean, like, they can't match France's size even if they wanted to, and credit to them because, I mean, Canada's been undersized in every game that they've played. Maybe not to the degree that they will be today, but in every game that they've played in this tournament and in the exhibition games, and they're sort of just embracing it and saying, all right, well, we're not going to beat you size for size, but we're going to cause havoc on the perimeter and create turnovers and make it really tough for you to even get into your sets. And I think that's what they have to do here against France, is really just guard the point of attack and really take advantage of that ball pressure and basically cause turnovers and score off of those turnovers. As we've seen, they're number one in the tournament in that category. You mentioned Evan Fournier. He scares me a little bit in the same way I mentioned FIBA Patty Mills going off for Australia. I mean, Fournier is a guy that has had some big games against Canada and just in general for France over the years. And he's a player that can get hot and knock down threes. And that's really where I think, as much as Wemby and Gobert are a challenge, what really scares you about France is the potential that they can get hot, because they're a pretty good shooting team as well. So that's where the perimeter defense for Canada really needs to have an advantage, I think, in this game.
Josh Lewenberg with us from TSN, talking all things Canada basketball at the Olympics. Josh, we were talking earlier, I mean, Canada going through the group of death, so to speak, 3-0. Talk before the Olympics saying that it would almost be looked at as a disappointment as if Canada didn't finish on the podium at some point. One, do you think that this one-game series kind of benefits the Canadian team? And do you think does this path towards possibly playing for the gold medal, is this a possibility that we're seeing right now?
Well, the one-game knockout stage, like, at one point, that was not only a huge disadvantage for a team like Canada, but it had been their Achilles heel. There were a whole bunch of examples leading up to, I would say, the World Cup last year, where Canada was trying to qualify for the Olympics and over the last decade and in various FIBA tournaments. It wasn't for a lack of talent. They were putting together some great teams. It wasn't for a lack of success during the tournament stage, the round robin stage, where they would look dominant. And then it would come time where it's like, all right, well, this is the game that you absolutely need to win. And they would find a way to lose it for various reasons. But I just think like the mental toughness that's required, the physical toughness that's required to come through in a game like that, the composure that you need in order to win a game like that. They didn't have it. They didn't have the chemistry and cohesion that a lot of these other teams that they were playing against had. And whatever adversity they were faced with, whether it was from the opponent or from the officials, they would fall apart. I think last summer we saw a turning point in that game specifically against Spain, where they were down by 12 in the fourth quarter. Again, the same sort of idea where in the past they would lose those types of games. But instead, they showed they had that composure, they had that chemistry and cohesion. They had Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, which helps. That goes a long way as well. I think, like, if we can really kind of boil it down to like one or two things that makes a team successful in these win or go home, one game playoff knockout stage scenarios, it's, I think, like the versatility to win in a lot of different ways. Because like I said, like maybe the other team gets hot. Maybe you have an off night. Can you win in different ways? I think the depth and the versatility of this Canadian team lends itself to being able to win different types of games. And we saw that during group play, where they were able to pull out some tough games against Greece and Spain, making those late runs. They were good offensively at times. They were great defensively at times. So I think that helps. And then I also just think like having the calming presence of SGA, a guy that can just settle things down, get you a big bucket when you need it. I think it's contagious. Other guys sort of fall in line and they don't panic in those situations that they may have before. If you're looking for reasons for optimism going into a game like that, going into a game like this, I would say it's that.
Well, one concern for this Canadian men's basketball team throughout this tournament thus far has been fouls. They're third in this tournament in players' fouls per game. That is an issue going against a team like France. So, in your opinion, does Canada, because I assume that this is now a trend, that this is going to stick going into this game, do you think Canada has the depth? Because they're, by all accounts, they're going to need it to take on this France team and then progress throughout the tournament as well. The depth of this team is something that they've relied on, and it's proving to be quite worthy. What can you say about Canada's depth against the big guys of Wemby and Rudy Gobert?
Yeah, I mentioned things that can really hurt you and do you in a knockout game scenario, where maybe you're not shooting the ball well, or maybe the other team is shooting the ball well. But there's another thing that can throw a wrench into your plans pretty quickly is if you get into foul trouble. We've seen it, as you mentioned, in this tournament. And that's especially scary going up against Wemby and Gobert, where, if they decide they are going to assert their will right away and play that kind of grind it out post-game, where you might need to wrap those guys up and commit some fouls early in the game. I think they've got overall depth, which is one of the things that you like about this Canadian team. But a lot of that depth comes on the wing or in the backcourt. They don't have a ton of depth in the front court, and they especially don't have a lot of depth in terms of guys that you can throw at a Wemby, for example. We saw that even in the exhibition game against France, as good as they looked, and Canada won pretty convincingly in that game. They did kind of run out of options against Wemby at one point in the second half, where they'll probably start with Dylan Brooks on him. Even that's not an ideal matchup. Brooks is giving up nearly a foot to Wemby. But what he does present, of course, is that physicality that really got under Wemby's skin in that exhibition game. But once you get past that, like Dwight Powell is certainly a guy that you could throw at him, but he'll probably have his hands full with Gobert. We saw a little bit of Trey Lyles on Wemby. That's not a matchup that you feel great about. Kelly Olynyk, I mean, he's been really, really quiet, probably one of the biggest disappointments for Canada in this tournament so far, and certainly he's not known for his defense. So there aren't Kem Birch. I mean, I think we see him quite a bit today. He's been probably one of the most pleasant surprises in this tournament, but you don't have a lot of Wemby options here. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I think you want to be aggressive defensively. I think Canada is going to need to be aggressive to the point that I made earlier in order to create turnovers and really disrupt what France is trying to do offensively. But it's always a fine line. I think in any level of basketball, we see it in the NBA over time, but we see it in the NBA all the time, I should say. But especially in FIBA, where the whistle can be really, really fickle. Some games you can get away with anything. Some games you can't get away with anything. And by the time you realize what type of day it is, it might be too late, and you might have a few of those guys on the bench in foul trouble. So I would say that's probably at the top of the list of biggest potential concerns for Canada.
Well, Josh, you know what? It's certainly going to be some key pieces to watch for this game for all of Canada that can watch in at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. We are looking forward to that matchup. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Josh Lewenberg from TSN. Josh, where can people find you and how can they listen to you?
You can find me on Twitter at JLew1050 and tune in to the game today. Coming up in we're about an hour or so away from pregame coverage. I'll be hosting coverage today on TSN Radio Network. Rod Black and Javon Shepard with the call, and we'll have hopefully the next 3 games of the tournament for Canada, quarterfinals, hopefully semis, and the medal game as well.
Awesome. And yeah, we look forward to your Raptors coverage here coming up in the fall as well. Josh, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Well, you heard it there. I mean, this is going to be a battle. I think it's. I mean, it's silly to say, but because it's so easy to see, but it's going to come down to how can Team Canada handle and take care and tighten down their defense on that dynamic duo of Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert. Yep. I mean, that's a huge. Those are the twin towers in there. Those guys,
massive man.
Surprisingly, they don't really play them off each other. Like, I guess I get it. It would be hard, but with Wemby's skill around the perimeter, and maybe this is something you might see today if that game is getting contentious or if Canada's pulling away, or I'm not sure. But would you see them go to both of those giants on the floor at the same time?
I wouldn't see. Depends on the situation of the game.
Exactly.
Right?
I agree.
More so. Interesting to say that they don't really have a true answer for it. Right. It's obviously physicality, but I think just from what Josh was saying, more of a turnover type, score off the rush, kind of
high paced. Yeah,
make them make mistakes and play at a very high tempo. So it's.
And hand those pals around. Let's all, Team Canada, everybody's got 5 to give, so let's spread the wealth, okay, boys?
It's interesting, too, because I remember playing hockey. You play in North America, but then you go and play in international or in tournaments or over in Europe. The officiating is completely different, right?
Night and day.
It's a different style that you have to, and you're not always used to it. So, yeah, like you said, hopefully they can move the fouls around.
I think they're going to have to. YTT, should we get to the text of the day?
Yeah.
Text of the day is brought to you by A&W. Double the flavor, double the chill, double the joy for one delicious price. For a limited time, when you buy any size frozen A&W root beer, that is so good, you'll get a second frozen A&W root beer for free. Hurry in and try one today. Offers valid for a limited time at A&W Brew Bar locations in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon, and most importantly, in Ardrossan.
Nice.
Most A&W drive-thrus are open 24 hours. Text of the day, it was in Joel's hands for much of the show, but we had a late entry here.
Oh.
We had a late entry come in from Krager at 8:32. Gager will be alone on that island forever if he's eating only bean burritos. He will be providing his own repellent. So congrats, Cage. Congrats. I'm saying Gager, Krager, congrats. That's a tongue twister there. Congrats to Krager for the Gager poke.
Nice.
Well done. Trev will reach out to you on that one. and we will get you your A&W gift certificate. Well, we're almost getting there. We're going to get to the wrap, and the wrap is presented by William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, visit the team at williamhuff.com. They've been in business since 1952, so you know they are incredible at what they do. YTT, we're going to throw it to you, but you got to put your face on. We want the face. We want to see that beautiful face.
What is everyone on? Okay. Oh, yeah. I have to
YTT.
restart this. 1 second here. Apply. Okay.
There you go.
Now send it.
That's looking better. YTT,
What's up?
I want to know, what did you learn today?
What did I learn? I learned that Gager really, really liked Deadpool. That's what I learned.
Okay, fair enough.
And man, I always get put on the spot in these. I'm just like, I need to start telling myself whenever I hear something, I'm like, that's what I learned. So that for whenever we come to the segment, I can just be loaded with things that I've learned. But just from the top of the dome, Gager liked Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what I learned.
Yeah, well, I learned, obviously, right back at you, Trev, that it was disappointing that you didn't like it. And Jay, I learned that you're not a big movie guy. So
No, not at all.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
That spending time on Iron Lungs across the country, not fully vested in movies that we're playing and firing up the old VHS. Maybe I spent too much time watching movies. I probably did. But I love it. I love it. I love movies. I would go to a movie once a week, twice a week. Back in the day, the NHLPA, they gave us Cineplex Odeon cards.
Oh, wow.
So it had our name on it, and with me, it was a guest. So I could
Really?
go to any movie for free.
Is that like your pro player card or whatever? Like
No, it was a different, it's a special Cineplex card.
Really?
Yeah.
So walk me through this a bit here. So is this unlimited movies for
Yeah.
the Gager at +1?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you still have it?
No, there was an expiry date.
Was there an expiry date?
Yeah. So
Sure, we could figure something out there.
yeah.
I love movies too. Just my second job ever was at a movie theater.
Oh, really?
And before this job, it was my favorite job because just popcorn. It was, small town. Whenever everyone came in, 10 people for the two theaters. I quickly clean up everything, and then I just watch the movies with them, and it was a lot of fun.
I don't know if you've seen. There's
movies.
by the hotel. There's that dinner theater over there. I think it.
Yeah,
shows.
Mayfield Dinner Theater.
Yeah, have you been there?
We used to go there as a family once a year and do the buffet and do the show. Yeah.
Really?
We used to love it. Yes.
Okay, yeah. I got to try that. That would be fun.
There's Mayfield Dinner Theater, and then there's one at, I think it's called Celebrations at West Edmonton Mall.
Oh.
It's actually fun. If you want just a goofy, they're usually
older movies, right?
Kind of fun-spirited
okay.
shows. There's, it'd be weird to have a dark story if you're having a, buffet dinner as well. But they're fun because the servers get into the characters as well.
Oh, really?
The servers are all part of, let's say it's Greece, right?
Yeah.
So the servers are all dressed up like that kind of style, and they're into it as well. I highly recommend a dinner theater as well. What did I learn today? I learned that if you are part of a streaming radio network, internet is somewhat paramount. We had a little bit of a technical hiccup here.
Speed bump.
A speed bump. And thank God Gager's here. Given his extensive experience with Shaw Cable, was able to help navigate young YouTube Trev and I through to make sure that light on that modem turned white.
Just a calm voice,
It was, you know what, I must say, and thank you very much, because that was very calming.
Yeah.
To have
I
you
could
in
see
the room.
Trev getting a little bit worked up and going, "Oh my gosh!"
Oh gosh,
it was
not going to
it
get
was
the
rough.
show up.
Yeah.
Maddie's going to hear. I'm going to hear from Maddie.
Yeah,
but
there was nothing you could have done though.
Yeah,
There
no,
was
that's
nothing.
true.
And
Just a
Gager can
soothing-
vouch for
just,
that.
Yeah.
Just a soothing voice of
Yeah.
it's okay, Trev. Everything will be.
It's going to be okay, Trev.
Just a great voice.
And if you're missing Dusty, I can't see why you would with the soothing sounds of Jay and Joaquin here. But I guess he's probably calling a game at 12 today. Germany, Czech. Listen to him, and they do a great job. I'll have that on in the background.
Can't wait. Canada, France at 10 a.m.
That'll be good.
Can Canada do it? Because if I'm not mistaken, they already have Germany. Germany's, I believe, in.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a Canada-Germany semifinal And
it looks like Serbia just got past Australia. That's finished. They 95-90. So, and then if you want to watch the game at 1:30, U.S. taking on Brazil, which I don't think there's much of a Hoosiers chance that that's going to go Brazil's way, but
well, and you know, like Surveyor Brett chimed in here, we learned that Dustin's a big wuss.
Yeah, Dusty better be. If it gets to Canada, U.S. in the finals, he can't be cheering for LeBron.
No,
Yeah,
well,
no. If it comes down to that, like, we got to run him out of this building because that was absolutely ludicrous. Like, come on. Oh, but he's LeBron. Get that garbage out of here.
Yeah,
get that garbage out of here.
We're cheering for Canada.
Do
you think he'd actually cheer for the U.S. and LeBron if it was Canada?
I think his love goes
no way
so deep.
Oh my!
For
more
LeBron.
Than your country?
Yes.
HR Daddy's going to hear about this.
Yeah, no, it's bad, man. It's bad.
Gager is the Skinner of EST that comes in from Joel. What does that mean?
Big time player.
Yeah,
Dudes.
Huge.
Obviously a good goalie.
Good goalie. The starter. There's a lot that plays.
There's a lot that's going through my head. Stud.
Just, you know, the
Keep it coming.
The big dogs are away. Jay, you were awesome today. Though.
Thank you.
That was I'm not a host, I don't think but you're host.
Oh, I am not either.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. That's
you know what? We did it together. It
Yeah,
was
no, that
a
was
team.
good.
It was a team effort. By the grace of God, it is 9:00. I don't know how we got here, but we are here, folks. YTT, many thanks to you.
Great job. Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Gager, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. And I need you to do the outro here because it's so good.
Everybody, thank you for joining. Jay, YouTube Trev, myself, Joaquin Gage at Edmonton Sports Talk. I'll be back tomorrow with Lieutenant Eric, and enjoy Canada and France today at the Olympics.
Love you guys.